My name is Malak. Everyone who sees me tells me I am very beautiful, but I see only an ordinary woman in myself. I love people and live a peaceful life with my husband Youssef, whom I married 5 years ago. My life seems normal and stable, free from exciting or extraordinary events. But I am writing my story now to reveal what is behind this peaceful curtain. The truth is that what appears normal to the eye may hide another world, an enigmatic world full of horror. What I am about to tell you will change your understanding of reality. Everything started with a simple feeling, but ended with my life changing forever. It was in June 2022, an ordinary and long day spent doing household chores. I was extremely exhausted, and all I wanted was to lie next to my husband Youssef and sleep. I fell asleep quickly, but what happened during sleep was the beginning of unnatural events. I suddenly woke up in the middle of the night, feeling a heavy pressure on my chest. I tried to move but could not. My eyes were open, and I could see the ceiling of the room clearly, but I felt my body was paralyzed. Then I heard a sound, very close, as if whispering in my ear. Malak. The sound was quiet, but tinged with something strange, more like a threat than familiarity. I tried to turn, but I felt a cold hand passing over my face. Suddenly, I woke up terrified. I turned to Youssef and found him sleeping peacefully. The room was completely quiet, but my heart was pounding hard. I tried to convince myself that it was just a nightmare, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. In the following days, a strange feeling accompanied me whenever I was alone at home. I felt as if I was being watched. It was disturbing and uncomfortable. One time, I was taking a shower and singing softly. I was trying to relax, but suddenly I felt something standing behind me. Then I felt a light touch on my shoulder. It was not an ordinary touch. It was cold and strange, as if it belonged to another world. I froze in place and started hearing incomprehensible whispers. I shouted, "Youssef, are you here?" But I knew it wasn't Youssef. I hurried out of the bathroom, trembling with fear. I tried to convince myself that it was just illusions, but that feeling kept haunting me. My dreams started to take a strange and terrifying turn. One dream, a strange figure with unfamiliar features approached me slowly and gently touched my face. I felt a strange fear mixed with an incomprehensible feeling. Then it whispered softly, "I will never leave you." I woke up terrified from the dream, my heart pounding violently. When I looked at my hands, I saw red marks, and I knew someone had held me. During sleep, the dreams did not stop at this point, but I began to notice strange signs appearing on my body, small scratches and bruises I didn't recognize their origin. One night, while I was sleeping, I felt something sitting beside me on the bed. I couldn't see anything, but I felt movement and a cold hand gently passing through my hair, then stopping at my shoulder. Then the voice came again, "You're mine, I will never leave you." I woke up terrified, and the room was strangely cold. I tried to tell Youssef what was happening, but he didn't believe me at first. Youssef decided to summon a sheikh after he started noticing strange signs on my body. Sheikh Abdul Rahman came on Friday morning and began reciting the Quran inside the house. As soon as the sheikh started reciting, I felt something moving inside me. There was a fire burning. I started hearing whispering voices inside me saying, "She is mine, don't take her from me." The sheikh said loudly, "This is a possessed jinn, and it is strongly attached to you. The matter requires patience and perseverance with protective prayers." I felt pain during the recitation, and something was trying to come out of me. Despite the sheikh's session and my adherence to the protective rituals, this entity did not stop chasing me. It became more daring. Layla woke up to the sound of slow footsteps. I entered the room, opened my eyes, and found the room dark except for a faint light. I called out tremblingly, "Youssef," but he was asleep. Then I heard the voice again, very close. I was always feeling a sense of terror taking over me completely, but what made things worse was that I started to see his presence clearly. It was no longer just a sound or a feeling, but had become tangible. One night, while I was alone, I felt his presence fully. He said to me in a deep voice, "I love you, and I won't allow anyone to take you from me." I tried to resist, but I felt helpless. I was completely paralyzed. Despite that, I felt something strange, a mixture of fear and comfort. I became confused most of the time. Yusef began to notice this and angrily asked me, Malak, what's happening to you? But I couldn't tell him that I had become trapped between him and a strange creature, an entity I couldn't escape from. Now I am writing my story, and I don't know what my fate will be. Will I remain trapped between two worlds? Can I get rid of it, or have I become part of its world? What I know is that I am no longer the same person I used to be. My life has become a mixture of horror and mystery, and I feel that I am no longer the Malak I knew. Over time, the presence of the strange creature became stronger and more influential in my life. It didn't just appear in my dreams or during moments of weakness, but he started to interfere in the details of my day, which I felt everywhere, behind me while preparing food, beside me when I sat alone, and even when I was with Yusef. One day, I was sitting with Yusef at dinner, and while he was talking about his day, I felt warm breaths on my neck. I tried to ignore it, but I heard his voice inside my head saying, "Stay away from him, you're alone." I stopped eating and started trembling. Yusef noticed my change of state and asked me anxiously, Malak, what's wrong? Are you okay? I nodded positively, but I couldn't focus. The words of the entity kept repeating in my mind constantly, as if it were a spell trying to control my mind. I began to notice other changes. It was no longer just strange sensations or cold touches. I started to lose control of myself. Sometimes I would speak in a voice that was not mine or say things I didn't mean. Yusef noticed this and started to feel very worried. One night, while I was sleeping, Yusef woke up to find me sitting on the bed with my eyes open in a strange way. He tried to wake me, but I did not respond. He told me afterward, "You were speaking in a language I didn't understand, as if you were someone else." Yusef then became convinced that what was happening was not normal and started searching for sheiks. They have more experience in dealing with these matters. He went to a sheik called Sheikh Ibrahim, known for his ability to confront unseen entities. Sheikh Ibrahim, after Yusef explained the situation to him, said, "This is not an ordinary jinn. He is a very strong lover, and perhaps he has a connection to a place or something that links your wife to him. We need intensive sessions to find out the origin of the problem." The sheik requested to visit the house and examine the place himself. When the sheik entered, he began to inspect the corners and neglected areas, then asked me if I noticed anything strange or abnormal in the house. Maybe I found something out of place. I remembered the paper I found under the pillow, the paper written in a strange handwriting. I told the sheik about it, but he asked me to search for it again. When I found it, I handed it to him. He took it and started reading some incantations written on it, then said in a firm voice, "This is the work of someone who wanted to involve this entity in your life." On the following Friday, Sheikh Ibrahim came to the house to hold a session to expel the entity. We gathered in the living room, and he asked me to sit in the middle. He began reciting verses from the Quran aloud. At the start of the recitation, I felt something strange moving inside me. My chest started to feel heavy, and I sensed a severe heat spreading through my body suddenly. I felt a strong hand pressing on my shoulders, but there was no one touching me. Then I started to hear his voice again from within me. "I will not leave her. She is mine," the voice said. In a decisive voice, the sheik ordered him, "Show yourself and, in God's will, we will defeat you." At that moment, I felt as if something was coming out of my body. I started to scream in a voice I didn't recognize, as if I were someone else entirely. Then I collapsed to the ground unconscious. When I woke up, I was completely exhausted. The sheik said, "We have succeeded in weakening him, but he has not disappeared completely. You must adhere to daily protections and stay away from anything that might weaken your faith." Despite Sheikh Ibrahim's efforts, I didn't feel that the matter was entirely over. The entity no longer appeared with the same strength as before, but I still felt it sometimes, as if it was watching me from afar. Yusef stayed by my side, supporting and encouraging me to protect myself with the Quran and prayer. But inside, I knew that this entity had not completely disappeared. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new end or a different stage of my struggle with it. What I now know is that my life will never be the same again.